heading to the nursery to move some nursery pigs that are about 6 to 8 weeks old, more like 8 weeks old. They've been in the nursery for about 5 weeks. I call it their teenage years in the nursery, and so we're moving in from there to a finisher where they will spend the rest of their days until they go to market. So we'll be loading them onto the trailer, moving them a few miles down the road, and so you can see a little bit of that. Is it windy? It is so windy that my hair is messed up.
Yeah.
But the pigs are moving well. Sometimes when it's windy, they don't like to move, but they are moving very well. Nice noisemaker to get the pigs to walk out. And then you saw the panel, obviously
go. Come on. Come on.
Load up some bigger pigs that were the last that were left in that barn that weren't quite big enough to go to market yet, but we need to get that barn washed, so we're moving them a few miles down the road to the barns we are currently loading out of so that they can gain some more weight before they go off to market.
Yep.
Let the old man walk in. Good afternoon. We are out in the Ranger marking out some tile lines with our ag leader monitor. So this stuff was put in last fall, and I'm just getting out here with the Ranger to mark lines out so that we can load them onto the computer, and then basically down the road in years to come, if we ever need to come back and look for a tile, we should be able to pull that up on the computer and then put it back into the monitor and drive right out to exactly where the tile was. So it just makes down the road potentially a lot easier if you have issues, or if you're wanting to find where an old tile was, you should be able to drive right to it. So that's why we're spending the time out here today getting them marked out, so in the future we can find stuff easier. So I got the co-pilot here making sure we're doing stuff right, I think so far so good. So we're using an old ag leader monitor here, and then we got a globe on the roof of the Ranger giving us our RTK signal so that we're as accurate as possible. So I'm just acting like I'm pulling an implement, and I turn it on and off manually as I'm driving next to the line, so that it's making the mark, and then we should be able to get on the computer and get those saved in a place that we'll be able to pull them in the future. Still got to figure that part out, but I know there's a way. So this field got ripped last fall, so it's kind of hard to see them, probably especially on camera, but I know where they're at. Once you gotta look for them a little bit, but once I see them, then it's pretty easy. So I just come up and turn it on, or tell it that I want it to start recording, and it will start recording, and I'll start driving. Get to the end, turn it off, and move on to the next one. Whoop. Turn it on. Off we go, back and forth. It's a good thing we're out here doing this, because we can spot problems like this. We must have hit something that was still obviously working very well, so that's why all that water is blowing out of that hole down there and then making its way down the waterway. We did just get a bunch of rain, so the waterway might be wet anyway, but I mean, you can truly see it flowing out of that hole. So we'll bring the backhoe out tomorrow and dig that up and see what our problem is and get that taken care of before we pull in here to plant. There's a lot of water in the waterway. Seems like more than normal, but we did just get a couple inches of rain, and maybe even more. And supposedly there's a couple thousand acres that drains down through this waterway. We're kind of on the bottom side of a lot of acres, I guess. So usually it stays underground, but just an abundance of water, and it has to go somewhere, so hopefully it'll dry up here in the next few days. So here's the top side of it, and there's 3 10-inch tile intakes that are underwater that make their way down the waterway. So like I said, it seems like an extra amount of water, a lot of water, but I guess we just got a lot of rain, and hopefully here in a couple days it'll dry out and be back to normal. That's why we put tile in, to alleviate all this excess water. See the water bubbling up there right where I put the flag? That's obviously a problem. Like I said earlier, we'll bring the backhoe down and do some digging there and see what happens. I think that's all we'll do for today. I think we'll head home, do some chores, and call it a day.